कर्म तेरे अच्छे हैं तो किस्मत तेरी दासी है, नियत तेरी अच्छी है तो घर में मथुरा काशी है. This encompasses the gist of my conversation with Lakshyaraj Singh ji Mewar, for whom good thoughts, consistent efforts, and keeping things simple are the key to success. The conversation was truly thought-provoking. I am thankful to him for taking out time for Duologues. Before meeting him, I had never heard of an Indian royal who had worked as a barista, a direct descendant of the royal family of Mewar. His ancestry can be traced to the great Maharana Pratap. His work as a philanthropist has earned him global recognition and many Guinness records. A successful hotelier, a proud father, a devoted son, and loyal to his people, I am delighted to introduce my next guest, Prince Lakshyaraj Singh Ji Mewar of Udaipur on Duologues. So thank you so much for agreeing to do Duologues with me. I'm extremely thankful for your time also. And I think the biggest question which is concerning the world is the very challenge which world is still continuing to grapple with. This very crisis of COVID, which is unprecedented and it still kind of continues to be unpredictable, has disrupted several businesses. And in specific, when we talk about hospitality and tourism, international travel still continues to remain disrupted. How do you see the time ahead? Are we looking at some new trends emerging out of this? And as they say that leaders are able to find opportunity into every adversity. So how do you see the hospitality industry looking at this particular situation and the time ahead?
The one word that I will pick up out of your question is the word trends. So what I will say, I have two connotations on this thing. One, obviously, which is, as you said in your question itself, that what is emerging. So what is something that you see as a haze at a distance, or something that is slightly closer, but which is giving you a perspective of what is going to be coming up and what you're waiting to evaluate, will hopefully get some clarity. Certain things is a wait and watch game. So things are like a railway track. So one part of the railway track is perhaps as what you mentioned. The second thing is the fact that you can create one. So both these things is something that I feel need to go in hand. So
Absolutely.
one thing is that you can become a trend follower, and what is emerging is something that you can attach yourself within it and do the wait and watch game, interpret, analyze, and then kind of proceed forward. The other thing that you can do is try and create a trend where you can reverse the roles, where others would try and see. So that is the other thing. So I would really like to keep an eye on what is emerging, but at the same time, I would like to more actively work with something where I can create something myself, set something myself, where you become a benchmark, where you become a trend setter, and take the best from what everything else has to offer. So it really doesn't need to be one thing, where there are choices, where there is variety, where there are options, if not where it can be created. So let the mind and let the energy flow where these things can be taken on board and moved forward. And as you said, the word crisis, even if you take out the word crisis in everyday life, good, bad, ugly, great, or disaster, everything else has something in it. So the idea is always to be able to look at it from a perspective. The spilt milk that is there is spilt milk, right? Now, there is nothing much you can do beyond that. But what you can do is try and see what isn't spilt, what you can save, how you can recreate something that is required at that point in time. It really needs to become something which is a part of everyday life. Sometimes you don't overthink things, because सोच को जितनी गहरी करोगे फैसले उतने कमजोर होते चले जाएंगे. So the idea is not to start overthinking. The idea is to go with the flow, create trends, work and have ability in the sort of ideology, thought process that you wish to take forward, and take that plunge and move forward.
आपकी बात ने मेरी एक पुरानी बात मुझे याद दिला दी. बहुत ही सिमिलर बात कही है और अफर्मेशन हो जाता है फैक्ट्स का. तो सोच गहरी हो तो इरादे बदल जाते हैं. और तो दो बातें निकल के आ रही हैं बड़ा क्लियरली कि हमारे फाउंडर थे पैनासोनिक के, उनका नाम था कोनोसुके मात्सुशिता. उनकी जो फिलॉसफी है वो मुझे काफ़ी इंस्पायर करती है. उनका एक कोट था जो बड़ी सिमिलर बात जो आपने बोली वो बोलता था कि स्टार्ट अ न्यू डे एवरी डे. हर रोज़ एक नई ज़िंदगी है, एक नई शुरुआत है, अलग अलग तरह के चैलेंजेस आएंगे, लेकिन हमको कंसिस्टेंसली, आपने एक रेल की पटरी की बात की, लगातार उस तरीके के एक ऑब्जेक्टिव को और एटीट्यूड को रख के आगे बढ़ते रहना चाहिए, इनसाइट्स को देखते रहना चाहिए और उससे लर्निंग लेके जो कोर्स करेक्शंस हैं। और कई बार ये भी इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है कि ज़रूरी नहीं कि हम उसी पटरी की तरफ देखें, हम साइमल्टेनियसली कैसे एक नई अपॉर्चुनिटी को स्क्रैच से क्रिएट कर सकते हैं। इट इज़ क्वाइट insightful to know your thoughts on that. However, when we look at the hospitality industry, ये एक ऐसी इंडस्ट्री है जिसने शुरू से बहुत हाई स्टैंडर्ड सेट किए हैं, whether it is about infrastructure, whether it is about the level of services. I think this is one industry which has set possibly higher standards than the global multinationals operating in this space. So I think the perspective which I really want to understand from you is that, one, while we've created those higher standards, and I'm sure as a country we have a long way to go because we have to kind of unlock the true potential. On the other hand, is there a possibility that we open ourselves to look at new emerging markets globally and create a footprint of Indian hospitality chains into other countries? So what is the right strategy which the hospitality industry of our country should be looking at in the time to come?
देखिए, इसके लिए तो मैं सबसे पहले जो है वो ये कहूँगा कि एट द एंड ऑफ द डे द पॉपुलेशन ऑफ आवर कंट्री इज 100 crores plus. So somewhere it is a disadvantage and somewhere it is a great advantage.
Yes.
Over 60% is about 30 years and plus in that bracket range, 30 to 35 years of age, 60% of the population. So on that front, it is a great news. It's positive. It's fantastic. So a lot of that crowd and those people, as far as Udaipur is concerned, has started to invite those people here. So which even the domestic flow that one would have not seen routinely or otherwise has happened during this phase, because that age group is very keen to travel. Everybody is adapting to the new ways of picking up a car, driving down, being able to cover those distances, 300 kilometers, 400 kilometers. They are doing these things with pit stops, with overnight stays. Coming here, the number of night stays have increased. So those have certainly kind of changed. The reports that I was reading earlier, we've been a great hub for destination weddings. And the amount of weddings that have got shifted towards Rajasthan and within Rajasthan, also specifically to Udaipur, have been over 50%. So now that is absolutely fabulous. So sometimes, as we were discussing earlier in the previous question about trends, sometimes it's necessary to carry forward the same trend.
Yeah.
As a human race, what we like to do is fix things that are not broken. हम उन चीजों को बहुत सुधारने की कोशिश करते हैं जो टूटी हुई नहीं है. इसको ठीक कर दो. इसको ठीक क्यों कर दो भाई? इसमें बिगड़ा क्या है?
Leverage करो.
ये खराब हुआ है, इसके अंदर क्या तकलीफ है? और for example, now we've been doing weddings since the 80s. Now everybody is saying कि कुछ नया create करो, कुछ ये करो, as asked earlier, और trend किसी दूसरी चीज में set करो या trend setter बनो. All that is great, but this question of yours has said something very clearly and very straightforwardly. The fact that we were an established a wedding destination, people have increased the number of weddings. People have started to ask for more queries. People have started to, those weddings have started to get converted. So again, we are also in the business of selling experiences.
Absolutely.
You know, we're not just here selling a room or selling a spot or a venue or food or a meal or whatever else it is. At the end of the day, वो जो तजुर्बात इंसान वापस अपने परिवार के साथ में ले जाता है, वो अनमोल है. And I've always said, and I've always been a firm believer of this statement, that the idea is not to go through life. The idea is always to grow through life.
Excellent.
These are things that are helping and adding to your growth, and which is through joy and happiness. So what could be better? So this is something that I certainly say India is a land of culture, India is a land of tradition, India is a land of color, and we welcome this with open arms. And also the fact that we believe in the fact that the globe is our family. So let's, at these sort of times, let this be the teacher, let this be the guru to tell us that, you know, we have to look beyond geographical boundaries, we have to look beyond cultures, we have to look beyond caste, color, creed, hierarchy, who we are, where we are, and let's join hands and let's try and move forward, because there is every person who requires help, whoever they may be, wherever they may be.
Your passion is clearly evident to create this value. You spoke about creating experiences, memory for people. You spoke about happiness. How many people into your industry would think like that?
This is the energy and this is the sort of vibe that the people should put out. The idea was the fact that Udaipur or Rajasthan or India should get to the world. Now, what are these brands here today in Udaipur doing?
Fantastic.
They are helping us to take Udaipur to the world. Enough of the fact that Udaipur is the Venice of the East. It is time now that the Venice should be known as the Udaipur of the West.
Excellent.
तो
Fantastic.
कोशिश हमको ये करनी है, सब लोग हम लोग को ट्रेंड सेट करने में या ट्रेंड फॉलोअर्स बनने में जीवन और जिंदगी निकाल देंगे। तब्दीलियां हमारी सोच के अंदर जरूरी है। अगर गरीबी किसी चीज की है तो सोच की है। सोच को थोड़ा सा हमारे को जो है रईस बनाना जरूरी है। अगर इस तलफ़ुज़ में या इस शब्दों में हमारे लोगों को समझ में आता है, इट इज पॉवर्टी ऑफ द माइंड, वी नीड द रिचनेस ऑफ द माइंड, अदरवाइज वी विल ऑलवेज जस्ट बी अ हर्ड मेंटालिटी।
ह्यूमिलिटी से मुझे याद आया, हमने एक प्रोग्राम शुरू किया लास्ट ईयर। उस प्रोग्राम का नाम है कैटलिस्ट। तो हम ये इस सोच में बिलीव करते हैं कि हमारी कंपनी में जो भी लोग काम करते हैं, जो उससे जुड़े हुए जितने भी स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं, एम्प्लॉयज़ हैं, वो एक कैटलिस्ट की तरह हैं। और उसमें हमने कोशिश की कि हम किसी तरीके से उस कैरेक्टर को डिफ़ाइन कर पाएँ। तो उसमें 3 इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ें आती हैं जो काफ़ी रेजोनेट करती हैं और मेरा काफ़ी कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ता है आपकी बात सुन के। उसमें 3 चीज़ें होती हैं। पहली चीज़ है एम्बिशन। तो आपने एग्जांपल दिया कि आज उदयपुर उस लेवल पर क्यों नहीं आता। तो हमारा एक क्लियर गोल होना चाहिए, एक ऑब्जेक्टिव होना चाहिए, एम्बिशन होना चाहिए और बड़ा होना चाहिए, क्यों ना हो। दूसरी चीज़ आती है उसके अंदर रिजिलियंस, कि रास्ता ज़रूरी नहीं कि हर वक्त उतना आसान होगा, लेकिन यदि हमारा कैरेक्टर स्ट्रॉन्ग है, हमारा एम्बिशन क्लियर है और उसमें हम रिजिलियंस के साथ आगे बढ़ते हैं तो सक्सेस ज़रूर आती है। लेकिन उसके बाद आता है असली टेस्ट एक कैरेक्टर का, कि आप ह्यूमिलिटी एक्सरसाइज करते हो कि नहीं करते। वन ऑफ द मोस्ट फ्रीक्वेंटली आस्क्ड क्वेश्चन टू यू वुड बी दैट वी ऑल नो एंड millions of people like me are inspired by life of the greatest of greats, Maharana Pratap. You carry that legacy and you're part of that very, very rich lineage. I mean, these are large shoes to fill. We all know that. So how do you see yourselves in that particular position and what does it take to be in that position?
देखिए, मतलब in this one thing that I will certainly say to you is the moment you put something in front of you to fit in, it is going to be a struggle.
Absolutely.
So the idea is not to kind of do that. So keeping sort of these things in mind, the idea here is कि अगर एक लाइन अपन खींचते हैं
जी,
और हम कहें कि क्या कहते हैं कि इस लाइन को आप बड़ी या छोटी करिए बिना इसको हाथ लगाएं, तो क्या करें?
उसके बाजू में एक बड़ी लाइन खींच देंगे या छोटी खींच देंगे।
When we can create our own identity, when we have been given those choices by life, why not move towards those arenas and those areas and everything and all of that? देखिए, एक इंसान की बहुत खूबसूरत एक कुदरत ने जो है वो इंसान को एक बहुत ही खूबसूरत चीज से नवाजा है, दिया है। पता नहीं क्यों लोग उसका इस्तेमाल नहीं करते और क्यों उसके बारे में नहीं सोचते। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, नाम हमारा खुद का, आपका, अपन ने नहीं चुना। मेरे को नहीं लगता है कि आपने
नहीं,
अपना
बिल्कुल
नाम आपने खुद नहीं चुना होगा।
Absolutely.
आपने शायद जिस देश में जन्म लिया शायद आपने वो नहीं चुना होगा। आपने जो है आपका धर्म नहीं चुना होगा।
जी।
आपने आपके पिताजी को नहीं चुना
जी।
होगा। आपने अपने माताजी को नहीं चुना
जी।
होगा। आपने आपके शायद शरीर का रंग वगैरह जो
कुछ
है
भी
ये आपने नहीं चुना होगा। पर ये ऐसी चीजें हैं सारी की सारी, एक दो को छोड़कर आप उसके लिए हत्या कर सकते हैं या आप अपनी जान भी दे सकते हैं।
जी।
ये सारी चीजें आपने चुनी नहीं है, पर ये सारी चीजें आपके अंदर इतनी ताकत रखती हैं कि आपसे वो चीजें करा लें जो शायद आपने कभी कल्पना भी नहीं करी हो। तो जो चीज चुन सकते हो उससे प्यार कर लो, इतना भी नहीं तो आधा कर लो, जीवन सफल है।
आप क्या लेगेसी छोड़ के जाना चाहते हैं?
वो मेरा काम नहीं है।
कर्म करना काम है।
हाँ,
वो अपने आप क्रिएट।
बिल्कुल। नियत जिसकी अच्छी है, किस्मत उसकी दासी है, कर्म जिसके अच्छे हैं उसके घर में मथुरा काशी है। नियत अपनी साफ रखो और अपने को जो है वो काम करते जाना है। किस्मत को जो है वो कराता रहेगा, चलाता रहेगा जो उसको करना है, और कर्म मेरे अच्छे रहेंगे तो मेरे घर में मथुरा काशी रहेगी। तो वो लेगेसी जो है जाने के बाद में या रहते वक्त जो भी है, पारंपरिक तौर के ऊपर या जैसा भी है, वो जो सोचने वाले जो हैं, वो किताब लिखने वाले जो हैं, इतिहासकार जो हैं, वो उनका काम करते जाएंगे। मैं आज के बारे में सोचूं कि मैं ये सोचना चाहता हूं कि मैं आज के दिन की लेगेसी क्या छोड़ूंगा, मैं पिछले 15 मिनट की लेगेसी क्या छोड़कर जाऊंगा। वो मेरे लिए अहमियत रखती है।
आपने कर्म की बात की, आपने अच्छी सोच की बात की। आई मीन समटाइम्स इट कुड बी easy to get swayed by the kind of adulation which is around you because of your position in the society. आप अपने आप को ग्राउंड रियलिटीज़ के पास या इस सोच के साथ कैसे कंसिस्टेंटली रख पाते हैं?
और वो अपने आप आपके परसों को तय करके देखिए। मतलब इसमें बहुत ही सरल और सीधा सा जब आप है इस चीज का, जब नीयत डगमगाती है ना, मन विचलित हो जाता है ना, और कहीं चंचल होता है और कहीं डगमग डगमग करने लगता है ना, तो आदमी की आत्मा को सबसे पहले पता पड़ता है। अगर कोई भी इंसान इस दुनिया के अंदर, पृथ्वी में, चाहे हिंदुस्तान का हो या विदेशी हो, it is humanly impossible for that person not to know that they have gone the wrong way or they've gone left. So there are enough warning signs that come and that tell you that what you are going to be doing, it doesn't happen at a click of a finger. It happens with a certain process. In that process, that human being is aware that I'm going left, I'm going right.
You spoke about involvement,
Ji.
and this reminds me. While I was doing a bit of research, I mean, I'm sure this question also would have been asked n number of times to you. During your days into Australia, you went on a on-job training, and I
Ji.
understand you also did bartending, and you did services by yourselves for a long while.
Ji.
I mean, one, I really wanted to understand what made you do that at that point of time. And second is, what are the kind of lessons which you picked up, which possibly are coming handy today?
What I enjoyed the most was that on campus that I was studying on had 35 nationalities. हॉस्पिटैलिटी तो किनारे रह गई, उन 35 नेशनैलिटी से मिलना जो था वो मेरे लिए अनमोल था। वो मैं पैसे देके कहीं जाता तो मैं नहीं सीख पाता, या कोई भी जाता तो वो चीज, उस चीज को वहां नहीं सीख पाता। Imagine a melting pot of 35 nationalities.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Now, where is that education that is going to
You
come
can't
from?
get that experience.
Who's going to be sensitive towards other cultures? तो जीवन में जो है वो कोशिश ये रहनी चाहिए कि मुसलसल आदमी सीखता रहे, सुधारता रहे, आगे बढ़ता रहे। Is where the taste of life is. स्वाद उसी चीज के अंदर है।
ये बात आपने बिल्कुल ठीक कही है। मैं यही सोचता हूँ कि ये इतनी बड़ी इंस्पिरेशन है लोगों के लिए, और ये आपकी ह्यूमिलिटी है कि आप यदि ये बात बोलते हैं कि इसमें क्या बड़ी बात है, और बीइंग अ स्टूडेंट यदि वो काम करना है तो नॉर्मल है। ये बात बहुत लोगों को इंस्पायर करेगी।
एक बहुत बड़ा शेर है 2 पंक्तियों का कि मैं बहुत वाकिफ हूँ बड़े लोगों की नीचता से। मैं बहुत वाकिफ हूँ बड़े लोगों की नीचता से, बड़ा मुश्किल होता है बड़े होकर बड़े रहना। तो वो जो एक स्वाद है ना कि मतलब आप अक्सर लोगों को और उस मुकाम पर लोगों को वैसी चीज करते हुए देखेंगे जो शायद उनके साथ में उस चीज को शोभा नहीं देती, और उससे बढ़िया सीख आदमी को क्या मिल सकती है।
ठीक बात है। नहीं, ऐसा बोलते हैं ना कि केवल अंधेरे में ही दिखना नहीं बंद हो जाता, कभी कभी बहुत उजाले के अंदर भी दिखना
जी
बंद हो जाता
जी
है।
जी
तो ये जो ईगो जो लोगों को मारता है, लोगों को परेशान करता है, लोग लूज करते हैं, उनके आसपास अच्छे लोग रह नहीं पाते। आई थिंक द काइंड ऑफ ह्यूमिलिटी विच यू हैव रिफ्लेक्टेड, आई मीन इट इज फैंटास्टिक ऑफ यू टू बी सेइंग व्हाट यू जस्ट सेड, बट आई थिंक दैट इज द वेरी थिंग व्हिच हैपेंस विद पीपल।
जी।
आज कितने लोग होंगे, हमने अपने जॉब की जब स्टार्ट किया तो एक प्रोजेक्ट से स्टार्ट किया था, मल्टीनेशनल कंपनी थी, तो जेटी के ऊपर उन्होंने बोला कि हम आपसे चाहते हैं कि आप इस फ्लोर को सबसे पहले क्लीन करो, क्योंकि जो मशीन्स आ रही हैं उसकी कमीशनिंग और इंस्टॉलेशन करना है हमको। तो कोरिया से मशीन्स आनी थी, और चूंकि बिल्कुल इनिशियल स्टेज था तो उन्होंने बोला कि चलिए जी, आप ग्रेजुएट इंजीनियर्स हैं सारे के सारे, और ये सारा फ्लोर को ज़रा धो डालिए। तो हमने देखा कि कई लोग जो थे उनको हेजिटेशन होने लगा कि भैया तो हमारा काम है नहीं। और यदि मैं उस मेमोरी को कट बैक करके आज देखता हूँ तो जिन लोगों ने वो झाड़ू पोछे लगाने शुरू किए, वो आज लाइफ में कहाँ पर, एक पोजीशन ऑफ अथॉरिटी की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ मैं, पोजीशन ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी में है।
जी जी जी
वो बिल्कुल डिफरेंट है।
बस वही यही वाली बात है कि ये काम मेरा नहीं, ये उसका नहीं, इसका, इसी में जो है उसने बोला, इसने बोला, इसी में जो है वो जिंदगी निकल जाती है।
I saw one of your social post recently, which
जी.
stated, I'll read it out. It stated, when we look outside, we see so many things, but rarely do we observe. It is better to first look inside to find your inner peace, as only then will your surroundings will become pleasant. So as they say that you are what you think, and that is what happens. I mean, introspection sometimes, and very much in line with the conversation which we are having right now, is extremely difficult for people because accumulated opinions and experiences sometimes might overpower the thoughts.
बट इसमें कोई शक नहीं है सर। देखिए, the idea was when we discuss, when we talk, people listen. Fortunately, one is blessed from that perspective to have the right minds. So the idea is to simplify things and to be able to help the people. कि जिसको जिसकी भाषा में समझ में आए। I am not successful or I am not a great communicator till the time that the person has understood. गलती उसकी नहीं है। If he hasn't understood or she hasn't understood, the fault may lie with me that I may not have explained well.
Right.
So I need to retry. As I've said, it's not only about making statements.
Right.
It's about practically implementing them.
Tell me something. You've set highest of standards into discipline, and you've set high standards into learning yourselves, doing what you did during your hospitality training. And on the other hand, I see you as a highly humble person. I mean, how do you sort of balance this off?
Everybody is measurable. अगर मैंने बोल रखा है कि सबको 9 बजे आना है और मैं 9:02 पे आता हूं, तो सबको मालूम है ना कि मैं 2 मिनट लेट आया, मुझे भी मालूम है कि मैं 2 मिनट लेट आया, तो सबको दिख रहा है वो। उस चीज से मैं छुपा हुआ तो नहीं रह सकता ना, क्योंकि जब मैंने एसओपी बनाई, मैंने ये नहीं लिखा कि मैं जो है वो 12 बजे आऊंगा, मैंने उसके अंदर भी ये लिखा कि मैं भी 9 बजे आऊंगा और सबको 9 बजे आना है। तो आई हैव पुट माई सेल्फ आउट देयर टू बी मेजर्ड. And why should not that be the case?
Absolutely.
So the fact of the matter is that then everybody should be equally be responsible and have that sort of measurable yardstick in front of them. So tomorrow they are also in that authority. Sir, today you are late by 2 minutes. Yes. So what will happen with them is what should happen to me, and what will happen to me should happen to them. So that certain benchmark of a minimum is very important for you to be able to achieve in life what you want to achieve.
I see you've been contributing a lot for the society, and वस्त्र दान किया है आपने, सैम्पलिंग प्लांटेशंस किए हैं, हाइजीन प्रोडक्ट्स का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन किया है. So I have two questions. One is, I mean, have you set some priorities or specific areas for yourselves when it comes to giving back to the society? कि मैं इस specific area के अंदर लगातार काम करना चाहता हूँ. And second, you've been setting some world records. I mean, I'm sure these are inspirational for people, and a lot of people will get inspired to do their bit. तो आने वाले टाइम में कोई और वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड आपके माइंड में है?
देखिए सर, मैं एक बात कहता हूँ अगेन, which has been the tonality of the entire conversation or life at large, that these are not things that you do one off. कुछ चीजें one off हो जाती हैं
जी.
But the idea is to do it every day. There is a simple formula, as I said, that I follow in everyday life. It is called GGGN, which is basically greatest good for the greatest number.
Okay.
कोशिश ये है कि हर पल हर चीज आप कल को, that is why I talk about formulas. You can also apply it in your life.
Right.
Either professionally, personally, whichever way that it may be, emotionally, family, or life at large, friends, relatives, whoever, company, colleagues, whoever else that there may be. Whatever you do, any action you take, you get up, you take a step, whatever you may do, you need to ask yourself, has this been for the greatest good? And has it been for the greatest number? You will get the answer there and then.
Right.
And that is what needs to drive you. And it needs to happen every day. Maybe 1,000 times a day, if not more. So that is, as I said, ideology is the leader.
Right.
Thought is the leader. So this needs to be the thought. So my thought has been that I need, whatever I do in life today, be it for my family, be it for my colleagues, be it for my subordinates, be it for my relatives, be it for colleagues, it needs to be for the greatest good, for the greatest number.
Is there a higher purpose which lets you do what you do? I mean, is there something which lets you get
The
out of
highest
the way?
purpose is to be happy,
All right.
to be in sync, to be in peace, to live with yourself, to be in complete harmony. And the fact that when you, as you read out the post earlier as well of introspecting, when you look at yourself, when you meet yourself a few times a day, मैं अपने आप से भी मिलता हूँ कई बार दिनों में. You know, so you meet yourself during
कैसे
that.
मिलते हैं आप अपने आप से?
वे अपने आप से बातचीत करते हैं, अपने आप के अंदर झांकते हैं. As you said about the post that of mine that you read out, you need to introspect, you need to look inside. So when I do look inside myself, when I meet myself as well, either walking from one place to the other, sitting by yourself, or being in the middle of wherever you may be. During this chit chat and conversation with you, I met myself a few times.
Excellent.
I asked myself a few questions, and when that those answers came back and those realities were spoken back to me or re-informed to me by myself, are the things that you need to make sure that you are in touch with. That is the highest cause. There is no other higher cause.
Excellent.
As far as I'm concerned, for me, that is the universe, because that is where you are living in.
What's your perspective or the belief in the force that drives all what happens in the universe? I mean, do you believe that things are preordained? नियति की बात की थी आपने.
जी.
तो दुनिया में क्या ऐसी कोई शक्ति है जिसने कोई एक इक्वेशन, आजकल हम एल्गोरिथम की बात करते हैं, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस की बात करते हैं.
आप देखिए, नहीं मानो तो भगवान, नहीं मानो तो पत्थर. You know, at the end of the day, whichever way you may look at whatever perspective of your
अंदर ही
life,
है।
in whatever you may do as a human being, as an energy, as a force, as a belief.
कर्म हमारे हाथ में है,
Absolutely.
हम वो करें,
बिल्कुल.
चीजें उसी हिसाब से अपने आप shape लेंगी।
Absolutely. You know, the effort has to be yours. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step.
Right.
That first step has to be yours. इससे मेरे को एक जुमला जरूर याद आता है कि हम क्या बनाने आए थे और क्या बना बैठे। हम क्या बनाने आए थे और क्या बना बैठे। हमारे से अच्छी जात तो परिंदों की कभी मंदिर पर तो कभी मस्जिद पर जा बैठे। So the question is कि let's leave that to the universe.
Fantastic.
Certain things best left unknown is best.
Simple रखना चाहिए।
बिल्कुल।
So my last message, I think this is my last question. Any message for the youth watching this video of the country?
यही कहना चाहूंगा कि सोच को इतनी गहरी कभी मत करना कि फैसले कमजोर होने लग जाएं।
I'm so thankful to you for this conversation. I think I've taken immense learnings out of this conversation. Sincerely appreciate your time today. I know that you have a busy schedule and I'm loving the hospitality of the city of Udaipur. I would come over again and see you during my next trip here. So extremely thankful to you once again for your time.
Thank you so much for putting up with me, and I hope and wish you all the best for your future endeavors and that for the highest joy and for the highest success.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.